Somebody asked about recording the sessions. You're free to record it if you'd like, but just don't share it. That's it. So let's see what has developed since yesterday. Of course, we had our setup here. Hey, maybe there was a setup there too, right? Yeah, both. We are ranging. Yes. Look at this. You focused on GU and GA, not EU and AU. Okay. Why would you not focus on AU? And why only two? And GU didn't set up. And the damn euro dollar set up. Okay. Okay. I hear you. Well, get out. I'm just kidding. That's cool. Well, look at what's happening here. But we have news coming out, so we might get an extra little drop there to kick people out. I'm not jumping in this before news, but you see what's happening here. The range, a range is a range is a range. Be quite funny if people bought here, and then the news comes out and it gives the log entry there. Just saying. But let's see what that news does. So what has developed? There was a lot of volume on the way up here. Let me see. First of all, that was the setup. Right. Any questions about the setup? Let me know. Textbook. Okay. Volume on the way up. Led to higher prices, no issue. And then, of course, fake break of the range. A decent amount of volume on that. More than off the low. So, a bit of selling activity. And the buyers came in here all on the way down. They just couldn't wait to the bottom of the range. My goodness. All right. So, buying at the bottom of the range again, it looks like, is what the smart money's doing. But I would want to get past news. This isn't exactly low volume here on the test either. Not exactly low. Not bad. Kind of the lower the better, right? But let's see what news is going to do. Another fake break or something, I wouldn't mind that. Clean this up. I don't have to redraw those lines. Move this on over. If we do go lower, that was that. Fake break of that kicks everybody out, right? Before we go up. And who knows on news. So let's just see. Otherwise, we can consider, of course, this area, just like yesterday with the fake break. So GU didn't set up. That was one to skip yesterday, no entry. But it's looking like you're a dollar range now, is it? Let's see. The thing is, the pound itself was weak, and that's why that was more leaning bearish here with a downtrend. But that might be getting rangy too. Right. I want to see what happened. New high ground here. Well, unless they split off, somebody's not going to range because Eurodollar's at the bottom, pound's at the top. Nice. And then too much demand. Fake break. All right. Kind of sloppy up here. Let's let it settle. There was a bit of selling on the test for demand. It was just too much here. 14 EMA, right? Too much demand. 50 EMA, baby fib, too much demand. And we see some buying. So it looks like these two most likely are moving up. GU may break out, but this is a cleaner situation, the euro dollar. Well, we'll see after the news. 1 minute till news. Pound had its own news today. It was light impact. AU long set up yesterday. That was a good set and forget for me. I got in. I set my target just before the zone. That was it. Looks like some other people did too. Where are we now? News time. Wow, this is weird. We're here during news, New York. So that was textbook as well. Again, a lot of volume on the way up. And the results. Higher prices got accepted pretty well there. Yeah, kind of looks like we might be moving up here, but, and again, you see all this demand down here. As opposed to the supply, not so much. Kind of mixed up, but you see the lower prices are certainly attracting the higher volume points as we move down. So there is some buying into this. There seems to be the theme of positioning long so far here. This is the worst fake break I've ever seen. Break test, fake break, real break, fake break. Here we are. But I'm leaning bullish on this. Since, of course, the setup, we just looked at the 5-minute, higher price accepted, not much weakness coming in, and some buying into these lower prices. So I'm no longer really looking at that as a range. And we'll see if buyers show up where they're usually going to do that. More coffee. Ah, that's good. Thought I was at a half and half, and then I found another one. Really made my day. The yen pairs, what are you up to? Ooh, all over the place here. Let's see what the news is doing over here. Come on down. Come on, we got some extra stops. We might have to go get. So far, I like the euro dollar long the best, especially if we can do an extra dip and see the strength, especially. But before I go on to the yen pairs, obviously the fake break and the automatic rally are here. the strength. And if we get through that properly without weakness, lower the better on volume, then that would be an entry. Now we're past news. Let me just see when the next thing is. Is there any? Nah. Hour and a half is light impact news. PMI. U.S. session so much more awesomer. Yeah. Well, it won't be awesome when we open the charts and we see setups that we didn't get. And it's too late. But I know what you're saying. It's not mark up the charts and all right, so in 4 hours, look for those setup guys. All right. 6 hours. Right now it's the way to go. So not too much activity on the news, right? Friday is well, actually this time around this month it's Thursday. It's tomorrow since the holiday and they moved it. But that's really the big news. U.S. is tomorrow. But we're getting some activity. Let's see. It doesn't seem very jumpy yet. The volume is there. Okay, I guess it was jumpy before. All right, keep an eye on that. I would not mind one more dip on these guys, right? It brings AU into a fib. It could give us a 618 overshoot or fake break here. Really prove the buying after news. Would not mind a little bit more of a down move now to get us these setups, right? AJ, where did we go here? Not very far. It looks so extreme until you go to the daily chart. Oh, we're still here. It's just not as dead as it was. But a bit of new high ground to give us some info there. But it's basically ranging. And volume is, again, that was that busy time yesterday. Higher prices got accepted, broke out over that resistance we had marked back there. Here, not much weakness coming in. And if we have buying on the way down, then we are clearly bullish. And I think we probably do. Somewhat. Not as convincing. Looks like the dollar pairs are a little better on that one. But we did run into some activity here. Not exactly off the lows. Let me see the 1 minute. Price areas, not time frames. Okay. There's some buying coming in here. Okay, it's there. Again, a pop down and more strength would make it all come together. Some of these look a little better than others as far as just going off of this right now. Like euro dollar. I got to fix that box. It's just bugging me. All right, got to keep checking this because push through here, valid entry, unless the volume's too high. Just to be prepared before I do the rest of the analysis. Well, let me take a quick look. Okay. But the stop loss on euro dollar, if I take that, is allowing for another fake breakout, right? Just so we can calculate what we're doing there. This has a really strong momentum to the downside, EJ. So in such an environment as this, I would want to see more volume before considering any sort of long entry. If we do this, we see that it did break 618, which does give us that projection. And if we're looking to sell, it might be over on this one today. If the long setups don't work and there's weakness coming in too much. I feel like I haven't shorted it forever. And this does have high volume off the higher prices a bit more here and here. So you do see some weakness back there. So the projection is to get here unless we see unless high volume demand. We could get a break test continuation there. Pound. Kind of all over the place. Euro pound again, it must be, yeah. Completely reversed. What's up with the euro and the pound? Just kind of having at it this week, last week, this week. This is usually sideways and spiky. Actually, a clean chart over here. Who's trading the euro pound so much? All right. Let me get my platform open because this might be confirming here. Maybe I need to start a little earlier. Be ready for these things. One cup of coffee before an entry is probably good. So I'll let you know if this confirms. I'll let you know if I do anything. Stop loss on this, allowing for the fake break. What do we got down here? This is 80. This is 66. All right, so I don't really want to go that big and put my stop down there. Somebody's mic is on. Somebody's mic is on. Okay, now you're muted. Would you like some eggs, honey? Yes, darling. All right. Pay the electric bill. All right. So as I say in these situations, you might want to get your stop below this. In this case, I'm not going to go for that. If this is a proper setup, it's kind of annoying because the leaving room for the one extra fake break, as we normally do, puts us at about 70-ish. And then 5 pips below that is a support, which if we do test, it could bounce. But it could fake break, and that kind of pushes our stop down to like 50. So now we're looking at like a 55 pip stop or something, 6 pip stop. So I'm not going for that. I could. It would just be such a small position compared to what I usually do. That, well, let's see. But I'll go with a regular stop. Probably go with yeah, 73, 74. You know how it goes with these kick them out one more time situations. So I do want to give it some room down there, and it's not a big pip count to do that. Wow, it's like wake up and there's the setup. Maybe. I went to sleep like 12 midnight, like a regular human being, not a vampire. I know I have emails to get to, by the way. I know. Shit was amazing. You were playing COD late, like a normal person. I guess that is pretty normal these days. Let's play, man. Let's go. 1v1 me, bro. Okay, let's see. Can we push through? 1v1 me, noob. For money? I don't play that much, so that would be a bad idea. I'm decent though. All right, I'd have to like, you know, get my skills back up before I do that. And then I'm down. You silly. So everybody knows what's going on here, of course, right? We are testing for sellers at the automatic rally. No supply. And this guy kind of dropped off a bit there. Bit of supply initially here. And this is leading to higher prices. This is not off the high, so that's not an issue. This is where we want to see lower the better on the volume and get right through there for the push through entry. Let's see the 1 minute in there. Price areas, not time frames. Ooh, look at that little drop on the 1 minute up there, up the high. We came down and we saw some activity, which brought it back up, and here is our potential entry. This is the 1 minute, but I just want to see. Okay, a bit of activity. I can live with that. If you get big volume spikes as you're pushing through, no good, right? But there it is, no supply. So if I enter this, I will let you know. My stop will be at 1.1173. Let me figure this out here. How weird is this, right? This used to be how it was at London Open, I swear. For those of you who've been trading for years, you know. You better be on that chart because it might set up. It used to be, this is Asia floating down, and then London Open is like here. You get this going on, and an hour in or whatever, you get your entry. It used to be the way of things. I used to call it the Asia drift or whatever it was. Is that a racing term? The Asia retracement. You know, the day ends, you get your move down in a bullish environment. Market opens up, you get that, and you get your entry. And it'll probably go back to that one day. So we are testing for sellers here. I like how the buyers are not forcing it, pushing it. They are thoroughly testing patiently. Amar says, I think all the billionaires left London and moved to New York. Oh, very possible. I think now they're trading from their bunker. So do we want to do this? I'm asking them, not you. By the way, like I said, I know I have a bunch of emails to answer. I've got a million emails to get. So if I didn't answer your email, I will. Just want to see what everybody else is doing here. Obviously, here is a very similar activity. Eurodollar's more textbook on that situation. Is the euro bearish compared to the pound? Oh, I'm not really going to worry about that. Again, there is that potential situation. If we do pop down, could still be after the session. All right, we are thoroughly testing. Like I said, they're not forcing it up. Let's let it do what it's going to do there. You need a cave with the Wi-Fi connection. Yes, cave. I have a cave. But then you won't be with that nice lady I heard in the background cooking you eggs. Are we doing this? The lower the better on the volume. Technically, just looking at the 1 minute, that did close above at the high. But a bit of volume on that. Maybe we can get a couple of ticks above that and see this guy stay low. Of course, I do really go by the 5 minute, but that's a little extra detail. If this volume was like low, that would be even better. But maybe we'll get it on this one now. There we go. They're trying it. They're dipping their toe in the water. No sellers, no whammies. Who's coming and going? Stay or leave. Mm-hmm. Looking good, but there's 3 darn minutes left. Doesn't mean I have to wait the whole 3 minutes, but I do hold off as much as I can here in these situations. Again, stop loss is going to be around 73. Are you looking at the top of the range to take profit? Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that. But basically, yeah. Pretty good on the volume there. 2 minutes left. Shouldn't be too high. We didn't go nuts up there, which is good. We're accepting that higher ground pretty well. I don't want to buy right into that high, but look at the pound going. Maybe I do. Again, the thing is the euro dollar is the cleaner setup, but if you go to the euro pound, pound is stronger. See, that's what we're dealing with there. I do not want to buy into that high. I do not. Euro's struggling a bit. And again, on this situation, not much strength on this pattern here. Here's our weakness showing up 14 EMA, higher ground, a little too much volume. And there's still time for this to maybe pop down and set up better. More strength, less weakness. Not bad here. I'm looking to enter this. I can deal with that volume there on a push through. Yeah. What is my size? Okay, we are good. All right, so I'm in the trade, euro dollar long. I'm in the trade, euro dollar long, in the trade. In the trade, euro dollar long. Roger, roger. Stop loss. Wow, this is weird. 40 minutes into the session, we got a trade. It's like the old days. Stop loss 1.1173. 40 pips, a little bigger than usual, but risk in check. We'll talk about targets here, but I always get the stop loss in right away. And there we go. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye. No? We stay? Okay. All right. Put on some music, roll a doobie. Morning stretch. Do some yoga. Life of a trader. I don't play games on my phone. I can't stand that shit. I know, COD Mobile. I know. Everybody loves it. It's so good. Did you try COD Mobile? It's really good. Say, no, I don't want to play freaking Call of Duty on my phone. I'll end up throwing it against the wall. You can't hate it until you try it. Yeah. All right. That's true. Do I play PUBG or Rust? Rust? I never heard of that. PUBG I've played and just I can't compete with the sweaties. I just can't. That's the kind of game you got to spend a lot of time on because you don't get much combat before you die and you got to start again. So, I play 2K. I play basketball. I have people I run with. I'm the point guard. How tall is my guy? I'm a 6'4" point guard. Very, very balanced. I can shoot. I can drive. I can dribble. I can pass. My defense is a little weak. I mean, you had to give up something, but that's what the other teammates are for. A little glass lock. Yeah, I still play 2K. Yeah. Yeah, Xbox. Yeah. My mic is cutting in and out. For Jim. Is that for everybody? Hello, hello, 1, 2. Jim says is it just me? How's the audio, guys? Okay, it's fine. Yeah, Jim, you might just be okay. Everybody else is all right with the audio. So, Jim, you got something going on. Okay, thank you, guys. You have a 6'9" small forward. It's kind of a stretch. Is he a shooter? 3 and D. Oh, that's cool. That's a good two-man. I have gold dimer, so if you shoot threes, you're gonna like playing with me. I'm the point god. If you get open for a split second, I will hit you. Just be ready to shoot. Oh, that's good. Yes, yes. You're more about the defense. Good. That's what I need because my point guard doesn't have any D. Yeah, we're talking about 2K20. Yeah, we should run sometime. Whoever in here plays. Yeah, in the park. Yep. Yeah, I don't play rec or the other kind of. What is the other 3-on-3? Where the camera is annoying. I don't play that. Yeah, just park. Anything else of interest? So I'm in the euro dollar long. Basically, the U.S. dollar weakness is what's going on here. So they're all moving up. The yen pairs, meh. This is clearly bullish, but not as great of a setup. EJ, if things turn bearish, I'd be looking at EJ. But nothing right now on that. All right. And we're in the profits. Targets. So before, when we started earlier, it was, well, after I do my initial analysis and tell you what to look for, you kind of sit around, what's the point? Now we get into a trade, set stop loss, talk about targets, and then what's the point? But anyway, we'll stay. We're still dealing with this range, so yeah, I would just mark up swing points, resistance areas, and of course keep an eye on supply coming in. Also, I haven't played since 2K16, so then I will kick your butt because I play a lot. 2K16 was good. That was fun. What is the biggest percentage you'll go on a trade? Does it vary with your setup? Yeah, if I don't think a setup is that great, I could go smaller risk because of this or that or news coming out or something. But generally, I have a 3% maximum. And that's not 3% of my account because I don't keep extra money in my trading account. I keep enough in there to take the trade size I need to take. But if you kind of look at your liquid available money, 3% is my max, which I don't really hit. It's as I call it, it's the brick wall. It's the brick wall. And why is that? Because on a very rare occasion here and there, you could have 2 losses in a row. And then you're down 6. What if you have 3 losses in a row? Then you're down 9%. I don't want to be down 9%. And then you're trading off a smaller capital, which means that to stick to that 3% limit rule, you're actually taking smaller positions now. So you're kind of trying to dig yourself out of a hole if you get down too much percentage-wise. So I feel like 3 is the magic number of limitation to, be planning for the worst kind of thing. Do you ever do martingale? Oh gosh, no. Hell no. The closest thing I would do to a martingale is those of you who have the crypto course, you know that I don't do martingale because I talked about that in the course. The closest thing I would do to that is, let's say we had a situation here, and I kind of talked about the option there for a second, or actually, no, I don't think I did today, but you could have a situation where, uh, let's say the setup was decent, and I put a half position, a limited risk, and then if it comes down and sets up and does confirm an entry at a lower point, then I can add to that because I had planned to possibly do that by going in small risk. So sometimes I'll get a better position and additional confirmation and a setup, and I'll be able to add to that and improve my position, right? And that would have to be planned out in advance. Like in this case, I did not plan that out, so I wouldn't be adding to it. That's all. But yeah, you know the deal with Martingale, right? Is that a troll question? Martingale messing with me. Yeah, the more drawdown you're in, the more you gotta buy, man. Just yeah, you're just kidding. Okay. Just Jim, you know better than that. Okay. Martingale. Targets. So let's mark up areas. Like I say, mark it up as if you're going short, and you're gonna know where, as long as you know what you're doing, you're gonna know where to watch out for sellers. In this case, it was first here. No volume increase, good sign. 618, 618 overshoot. Let's see what that brings. And if that brings a lot of weakness, I can move my stop to break even. The other extreme is if we float on through on low volume, that's very good information saying we're very likely getting here. Which again, like if we were going short, we'd be looking at this for maybe a fake break or something, right? So once we clear this, what was my entry? 13, and now we're at, I want to say 20. Go to 20 so I can say 20. 19. Um, so this is the first area I would consider. There's 20. I would consider taking profit. But the main thing is to get through the 618 without any issue. And then we're looking at that. And then I look at the reaction. Now that I'm going to be awake and not having to worry about set and forget, so I can see what goes on here. Likely I would close some at this point no matter what. Because that's just how I do it at these major points. I don't want a good trade that's well into profit to turn into zero. So I would take maybe half the trade off here, but if there's a lot of weakness, I could take off 3/4 of the trade, move my stop up. If there's really no weakness showing up, I could take off a third of the trade and leave my stop at break even. So that sort of thing. Well, it looks like everybody's doing this up move at the usual time of day, right? This is definitely going to work for now. Yesterday, that AU setup was like about 6 a.m. So if I'm doing this schedule, I'm gonna be missing trades sometimes, but that's all right. For now. All right, so we're in this, very sensitive area, the fib. Any issue with large weakness, I can react. Otherwise, let it do what it's going to do. Let's see the 1 minute. price areas, not time frame. And that's when we entered the fib area. A little bit of volume, not terrible. New high ground here, not terrible. Slightly new. Okay, so a bit of selling there. Just to kind of know what's happening. This 5 minute is going to have a little volume on it. Let me just see what other news might be coming. Nah. Okay. Light impact US in an hour. Medium impact US 15 minutes after that. But we're past the big news of the day now. All right, so there's our solid test of the fib area. Slight increase in volume, nothing bad. It's almost weird to not see an increase in these areas. That's how it goes, you know. So I can live with that. So you get to see how I manage a trade, which has not been very often in the sessions due to when the setups were. So I don't overreact, but certainly there are times where you got to do something. So, you know, if we test 618 and we see, let's say, volume higher than all of this, something comparable to the strength, right, as far as weakness coming in, that's a warning sign. Move your stop to break even. So, like I say, all this knowledge we have of reading the charts doesn't stop once you're in the trade. Let it tell you what to do. Jim, very good. Yes. Now we don't have to go in a straight line. So, you know, we might hang out here, meet up with the 14 EMA. You know how it goes. But nobody is showing any issue with weakness on the way up here. Moderate, normal stuff. If the euro turns around and starts moving up against the pound, that'll be nice. Because right now the euro is not the strongest, but the US dollar is weak. Yen is weak. That's why everything's moving up. But if the euro could be a little stronger relatively, then we get a little more action there moving up. For someone who is new to trading, how much capital is good to start with? Demo. Tiny amount. Depends how new you mean. But I would start so small that it's insignificant. it doesn't even matter. It doesn't affect your life. And work your way up from there. Because, as they say, which is very true, there is a psychological element that you're going to have to deal with if you have, money that's going to affect your life, kind of money, uh, potentially losing. You don't want that on your mind, and you don't want it to become stressful. So, building a small account. So, you start small. Small meaning it's not significant. It's not going to affect your life. What's the term? The money you're willing to lose, quote unquote. And then build it from there. And if you're doing well, let's say you had a nice run for 2 weeks, you can add to the account. So instead of starting with this large lump sum, start small and reward yourself for doing well by adding to it. If you are in drawdown, let's say you start with $300, uh, and you have a bad week, or you make some mistakes, or you take losses, or whatever, and you're down to 260. You can't throw in $40 like nothing happened. You got to get that thing back to 300 before you even think about adding money again. Right? Good plan? So you're not throwing money at a losing account. But if you're doing well, you're growing the account, and let's say you started with 300 and you got that thing up to 350, then maybe you can add another 100. Right? That's what makes sense to me. Reward yourself for doing well, but if you're in drawdown, you got to trade your way back. Don't throw money at a losing account. Right? Yeah, basically, Chad, exactly. He said add 20 or 100 every payday unless you're in drawdown. Exactly. That summarizes it. That is it. So you don't create a money pit. You don't reward bad behavior. And you're dealing with the small version of what you're going to be really dealing with, which is you can't just throw money in because you took some losses and pretend they didn't happen. Trade your way back. And if you did that, then you can reward yourself. At which point did GU become bullish? That's a good question there. Basically, the thing that really did it here is that the U.S. dollar and the yen became very weak. Therefore, everybody has its own story, but they're all able to move up against it. Um, well, you have very high volume leading to higher prices that got accepted. So we do have the high volume switch in direction, right? It's not our traditional strength off the low, but it's extremely high volume. And that's our result without weakness. So there, the way yesterday ended, right? Hanging out in fib, medium volume, no issue. Just got to deal with that 618, the third rail. It's going to get zapped. Let's hope not. 618, here we go. No whammies, no whammies. A decent chunk of change. Not really. Well, it depends. Depends what a decent chunk of change is to you. But I am ready to react to this. Ooh, look at that. Don't squash my trade, bro. 112.13. Don't squash my trade, bro. So the 1 minute gave us a spike. It happens. At this point that I'm highlighting right here, I'd be up. Oh no, that's 10 pips. Okay. No, I don't like to touch a trade until I'm at least basically at 20 pips, unless I'm moving my stop to break even. But as far as taking any profit, partial profit, which is about here. Well, we did touch 618 and, all hell didn't break loose. New high ground for the pound. All right, so a bit of activity did show up there. Not the end of the world. See the reaction. No time to talk about bullshit. It's probably good. You don't need to hear my nonsense ramblings. Riots got you down. So we got a little activity there. I want to see the reaction as far as how this closes. If it closes up on lower volume, very good. If it closes down, it is confirming some weakness. But being long against the dollar and then looking at the dollar yen, the dollar has been the weaker one. So if this guy does this, then your dollar is going to get through 618 basically. Looks like a good reaction. So that is an example of when I'm in a trade and I might see some higher volume that's not in my favor. I don't freak out. I really want to see the reaction candle. And we're closing up on lower volume, which is good. But we really barely spent any time on that 618 overshoot, so we're still going to have to deal with that. But anyone willing to sell is likely doing so, and we can just kind of get them in and keep going. So, but it's all good. Things are generally bullish and moving well. If the euro starts moving up against the pound, that'll help us really get moving. There's a bit of strength out of baby fib. And again, if the dollar starts dropping against the yen, that'll help us get moving. But hanging out in the fib zone with a low volume candle is a good sign, of course. It's not about the trade moving quickly. It's about, as you're sitting there, the information that comes in. Is it good or bad? And again, you can look at it as if you were looking to go short. Is there any sort of short setup forming here? No. So that's a good way to know that your trade is pretty decent still. Come on, euro, kick some butt, kick some pound butt, and the yen kick some dollar butt. Yeah, we definitely get through that 618. All right. The big moment. Don't get sweaty. Sweaty palms. No whammies, no sellers, no sellers, no whammies. Eh, go away. You see they're still hanging around. Obviously, there's a lot more money positioned long. We're still likely to get through this, but they're hanging around. Usually we don't just plow through. We got to wait for them to dry up, but sometimes we do plow through because that's the background. Do it. Do it. Sitting above 618, not getting squashed. That's good news. Let's go. Look at that 1 minute. Go away. They're hanging around. Get out of there. Who is selling, honestly? Stop it. Maybe the scalpers are taking profit. Down, yes. Come down. UJ. EG. Go up. Yes. 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 Mr. Philemon, yeah, I think you're the one. You sent me an email, right? I got to look at it. Maybe we could do it tomorrow. I kind of just want to keep an eye on this at the moment. And tomorrow's non-farm, so we might get a really chance to do that. Yesterday on pound yen, there was high volume up bar with a bearish reaction of 5-minute, but since we saw higher prices being accepted in lower volume, can we ignore the bearish 5-minute reaction and it still remains bullish? Yeah, ignore it, except for the fact that knowing that there was some selling at that level, but it does not make things bearish. If you see weakness, basically, if you see weakness, confirm, and then you end up going higher anyway, and those higher prices are not showing weakness, then too bad for those sellers. You are still bullish. You may not be as bullish, and typically if you see that, you may run into even more supply as you start to move up. But maybe not, and you're still in a bullish environment as far as looking for setups. Okay, good. Let's go. This is actually moving pretty well. I mean, as far as being patient, it's not really very slow at all. We could have done all kinds of stuff here. We could have done a break test continuation of AR. We could have tested the 14 EMA. We've not done any of that. So this is about as fast as you could hope for in reality. Unless it's a news move or something. Very nice. There's a 1 minute closing almost practically at the high on low volume, well above 618. So whoever was looking to sell there, it looks like they got in, and we can now continue and go get their stop loss. Let's see, where would the seller's stop loss be? Oh yeah, right here for a fake break. And that was our target. UJ. Yeah. Yeah. Again, this was if things were really starting to show weakness, and maybe we were going to consider it some sort of short entry. But now that we're here, we can get the, and that's not the case. But now that we're here, we can see that selling, and look at that nice drop off in volume. So it looks like we're staying bullish overall. A little jumpy. Is this news? No. News in 15 minutes. Light impact U.S. Could trim down my position a little bit before news, maybe close a quarter or even a third. But I really shouldn't. It's getting a bit jumpy up here, a little extra activity. No, my stop's not at break even. This volume might be a bit on the high side. Just above 618, so I might do that. It's a fine line. I don't want to overmanage, overreact, but I also don't want to ignore what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of activity coming in. It's not news or anything, but yeah, there's still 48 seconds on this candle. It's going to be up here. It's just kind of mix of buyers and sellers. Not much movement price-wise, but it's very active here. And this way, if I move my stop to break even, then it's high volume above 618 rejecting. So it's logical. Yeah, that's a bit high now. I think I'm going to have to do that. That's what I said when we first got in the trade, something like that. That's the highest volume since the low and the setup, right? And if we reject that and come down, not exactly the best situation. Not what it was when we got in. 112.13.1. It was my entry. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. At least for the moment. At least for the moment. Stop at break even. Stop at break even. This way, I don't get Oh yeah, well, it's market open, exactly, Sean. Thank you very much. U.S. Open. Well, there's our result. Let's go. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. No, no, I didn't close it. I moved my stop to break even. Stop to break even, just because we had such high volume right above 618 that if it had come down, you know what that means. Not good. But here's our result, so that is good. Uh, it's a bit jumpy. It's a bit wacky. I'm almost up 20 pips, so I could always close a third here just to make sure I end up with something for today, no matter what, and just let it run. Um, Let me see. Right now, I have my platform is set to close a third at the push of a button. Very active here. I might just grab that. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. So I closed a third of the trade, stop at break even. I closed a third. And again, really the point of that is we didn't want to see high activity up here. We are seeing it. And as we went higher now, we're seeing jumpy. So just to get something in the bank no matter what for the day, and now just chillax. Very good. Very good. So I closed a third, stop at break even, let it run. I hate getting nothing, you know. Again, I at least waited till I was very close to 20 pips up. I try to wait till I'm, that 18. That was about 18 pips before I can do any selling off, any closing, partial position. If it was sooner than that, I just move my stop to break even on a trouble sign, and I don't actually close any because you just kill your risk reward that way. Well, on my platform, forex.com, what I do is I sell. So I'm in a euro dollar long position. So you look at all that volume. I'm happy with what I did there. Um, I sell in a smaller quantity. So if you took whatever five, well, let's do if we're talking about a third for simple math, if you took 3 lots, if you went long 3 lots, then you actually do a sell order as if you're selling it 1 lot. You know what I mean? Not all platforms are the same with that. Um, but that's how I do it, So it's like putting in a new order. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you typed it as I said it. It's like putting in a new order and put the amount of lots right. A third of what you started or what you bought. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, look at all that volume. It's nice to have something in the bank no matter what it ends up doing, and no risk on the trade, and let it do what it's going to do. 112.50-ish area is what we're looking at next, unless break even gets hit, and then it's a small profit. But we've already done better than 80% of the traders out there. And if we get up to 112.45, you're in the top 5%. Congratulations. When you put it that way, you feel kind of good about yourself, right? Sorry, the money's got to come from somewhere. The losers. Amar says, it says hedge is prohibited. Yeah, you're not trying to hedge, right? I'm putting a sell order for 0.2 value. The trade house. Okay, yeah, you might be using something different. Obviously, you're using something different. How about this? Is there a way for you to close the trade, but pick how much you want to close instead of selling? You're using forex.com too? Well, then it should be exactly the same. I'm doing it on my phone, so maybe there's a difference with that. Oh, you're using Oanda on MT4. Okay. On MT4, you want to close the trade, and when that window pops up for you to confirm the close, lower the lot amount. You know what I'm saying? That's what I remember doing on MT4 many, many years ago. Chad, I said that right? So you go to close it, and then before you hit confirm or whatever, you close the whole trade. Well, that's okay. New move. Live and learn. Yeah, Chad says that's the way. Okay. So you've never done partial profit, Amar. All right. Congratulations. You're up $70 and you ended up closing the whole thing. All right. Well, go have yourself a fancy lunch. No, it's all good. Keep growing the account. Keep growing the account. You're very welcome. Philman says that's my first time hearing that is possible too. Okay, well, there are definitely benefits. Yes, the session was awesome, Amar. Very good. Again, just to say it one more time. Hey, Pete, why didn't you do this before? Because I was doing it before a few years ago, and I kept missing the early setups, and it was driving me crazy. So I got to get up at 3 in the morning, like I used to when I originally started. And then again, things just kept more and more pointing towards this time of day for the setups. So here we are. It's good. It's good. It's good. So, little something in the bank, no risk on the trade, stop at break even. Um, Philman, you're saying, yeah, that's my first time hearing that it's possible. So, yeah. The art of managing the trade. So, yeah, we'll get to see that more now. It's that balance between listening to the chart as the trade is moving along, but not overreacting, not taking profit too soon, not taking profit too late, where you saw something decent, but then you got nothing. Not having a trade that's up 15, 18, 19 pips turn into a loss ever. Uh, Listening to the chart and having like a balanced response. The thing is, that's all you have to go off of. You don't want to go off how much money you are up. You don't want to go off how you're feeling. You don't want to go off anything else except what the chart is saying. then you have no regrets. That's the only information you really can act off of. As long as your activity and managing the trade is matching what the chart is telling you to do, that's all there is. So once we saw, and I said this as we went in, so this isn't like a, reactionary, um, if I said that we see volume higher than all of this and something comparable to this, remember I said that, and we saw that. And then as it moved up into new high ground, it was very jumpy, suggesting that we're going to get high volume again, jumpy price. So it was according to the plan. It ends up being either a small win or a big win at this point. If we do a break test on the 618 and we revisit that high volume price area where we did the stop to break even, if we see low volume there, should we add or get back? Oh, stop it. Go play Call of Duty. That's my answer. Take the $70 and run. Well, you were up 70, and then what? You ended up getting out for what, 60? Oh, stop. The problem is you end up with risk on the trade. You end up with a really bad, really late, really high, long position. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's the problem is you end up back in risk. And where are you going to put your stop? 70 pips away? Thanks, Pete. I was just getting greedy. Yes. That stuff is very bad and regrettable. Don't ever do that. Lesson learned. You made some money today. It's all good. You did close at 70. Okay. Getting yourself a bagel with salmon lox right now. Oh, that sounds good. I haven't had that in a long time. Bagel with lox. My Jewish roots on my dad's side. Chad, those late night greedy trades are always the ones that fuck me. Well, for you, late night, yeah. You're in China. Yep, yep, yep. You get to a point, which a lot of you realize and know it now, but just to say it, because it's always good. You get to the point where you know what to do and what not to do. And the final step is the discipline. The discipline is not a thing when you're learning, because you're still learning and you're not sure, is this right? Can I do this? But you get to that point. Amara, you're kind of at that point, pretty much getting there, where you really know what you should and shouldn't be doing. Minus maybe a question here and there that you still have. But you know what you should and shouldn't be doing. So you now have full responsibility, accountability. You'll gain more experience and you'll get better at in things and everything. But the discipline factor, it's time for that. Now is the time. I just want a Lambo. You're young. You'll have your Lambo by what, 30. Don't worry about it. Market's not going anywhere. I'm the least show-offy person. You would never even know. I drive a Ford. That's just how I like to do it. I actually like people to think I don't have money. They don't ask me for any. Philman says, I wonder how old everyone is. Yeah, I do it low key. That's how I go. That's how I roll. Well, family, yeah. But I mean, besides close friends, besides a small amount of people, like I really try to keep it secretive. Trust me, you'll find out. You'll find out why you got to do that. And it's not like I have anything against helping people. I definitely have helped people. It's just when people know you have money, there are some people that are going to actually feel kind of entitled to it, believe it or not. That's not fair. Oh God. I lived off pizza and the $1.10 pizza fruit punch deal on the corner. I lived off that shit. I don't want to hear it. I figured it out. Philip says, I wonder how old everyone is. Well, I'm 44. Amar's, oh, you're 31. Okay, I thought you were younger for some reason. I think because you sounded young. I don't know. Chad's 34. Amar's 31. All right. So you guys were born in the 80s. Philman's 21. Wow. Well, it's kind of cool to know how old everyone is. Okay. You're on it in life, man. That's good. What I was doing at 21, god damn. Nothing good. Jonathan says, keep it low key so you don't end up like a lottery winner broke in a year after everybody has hit you up for money. Yeah. They'll do it hard, man. They'll do it hard. Yeah. We started at 19 film uni. Okay, yeah. So you don't have to go through a 20s rebellion phase. You're good. You're on track. All right, nice. David, 59. Running my own business, contracting. Always busy trying to squeeze in trading. Yes. Philemon only discovered VSA recently. Yeah. Yeah, only recently in your early 20s. That's good. I was in my 30s when I first heard no demand. All right. Something about that no demand sounded interesting, right? It was actually what really got me. I'll never forget this moment when Gavin was showing, this was like a YouTube video and maybe, the early shit, 2007, when they first started like posting to YouTube, maybe 2008. Yeah, and when he said strength buying shows up into down moves, selling will show up into up moves. So what the hell? That sounds like the most backwards shit I ever heard. But let me try to understand what this guy's saying. I'll never forget that moment. Life changing, life changing moment. It didn't make sense right away, but I'm looking at the chart and I'm looking at the volume and I'm saying, okay, there's something to this. And like I always say, once I ventured out and learned about supply and demand outside of trading, outside of charts, just in real life, what makes prices move? And it all came together. This is universal stuff for any market. I was thinking about before, not that I'm a real estate guy, but I like to use the housing market as an example. of cyclical price fluctuations, and obviously buying low and selling high. Very simply, is how you make money in real estate or anything. Um, and you get away from thinking about charts when you think of it that way. I was thinking before, what if you had like some of the major, real estate broker companies? Because you have these companies that just buy things up, and sell them, and you could even trade their stock and all that. What if they all of a sudden drop their prices artificially for no reason? Not because they were, fearing a recession and they needed to unload before it all hit. Not for any particular reason. Just lower your prices, lower your prices. And you have, these big companies that own lots of real estate. And if they suddenly started lowering their prices, that would scare the shit out of people. And they would start to sell. Now, what if they bought from those people? Gotcha. I gotcha. Right? It's all the same principles. It's all the same who's a step ahead and who's reacting, who's planning and who's reacting. Conclusion, it's a thing in economics. Yep, it is a thing. I feel like they should teach supply and demand in high school. Which some might, depends what school you go to. But everyone should graduate high school understanding supply and demand. It shouldn't be a college university thing. It should be something that every person knows. Yeah. My kid's gonna know it, that's for sure. I already taught it to her, just to get it in her mind. She's 7, but she knows a bit. Buy it cheap, sell it high, make a profit. Oh, lower prices attract buyers, higher prices attract sellers. She's already learning it. I think I'll get her started, in a few years, trading cryptos. So she's not like attached to the charts and she just gets a feel for it. You studied economics at university. It's a big topic. Yeah, I would think, yeah. But yeah, like we said, why not in high school? It's not that complicated. It's so fundamental. Amar, don't feel bad. Live and learn. Just in case you needed to hear that. We're about 10 pips from really the target on this thing. They teach it in college before university in England, optional. Yeah. I mean, when I think about some of the stuff I did learn, it's really useless, and then not to learn this, it's silly. And here we are, just about. Let's see what's happening. What a move, man. Don't expect this every day, guys, for real. We didn't do a break test. We didn't test the 14 EMA. We didn't do anything. All we did was stop, let the sellers get in, and keep going. I mean, how often do you see a move like this that doesn't touch the 14 EMA for this long? Well, I guess it's there on the way down too, but it's not a very, very common thing. You know, some of the things we could have seen was the break test continuation of automatic rally. Not enough selling to do that. Getting some sort of reaction off of this weakness, a bit of weakness that showed up to at least test for buyers at the 14 EMA. That didn't happen. All right, here we go. So basically target now. So in these situations, what I do is I like to close some, no matter what, but how much is dictated by what I'm seeing. So let me close a little more here. Close a little more. Euro dollar. Sell. I'm going to close. I'm trying to decide. I could close half of my position, remaining position, not half of my starting position, half of my remaining position. Ooh, look at that volume on the 1 minute, right? This is a 50-50 here. Or maybe slightly worse as far as being able to continue. Yeah, I'm not the only one closing some here. High five with smart money. All right, so I closed half of the position that I still had on. All right. Very nice. So I have a little bit on, let's see. The market likes your new schedule. And I like the market. In 2 hours, yeah. I made more before 10 a.m. than most people make all week. um, so as far as stop loss in these situations as well, if this starts to form a short setup, I can put my stop loss basically where the short setup would confirm. So let's say we have weakness here. Again, I closed the majority of the trade. Stop at break even. So let's say we get a large weakness here, fake break, right? We come down, we set, we do our usual test for buyers, automatic support, whatever. And let's say you get a push through, right? So once the automatic support sets up, I can put my stop, 5 pips below that. So it's actually a short setup confirming, and that's what gets me out. Another way to do it, you get the logic, right? Another way to do it is, let's say we do a little more of a breakout here. And it's not just a quick pop, and we're actually seeing some candles close higher, and it's looking more normal volume. Then I can put my stop just below here. So unless it fails the breakout right here, it would have to fail and do a fake breakout, bearish pattern, to get me out. Right. Otherwise, I can hold till another 12 pips or so. We're going to run into a level. But in these cases, I just like to let it go and see what it wants to do. But yeah, that's something I can do there is if it spends a little time up here, just move my stop to get out on a fake break confirmation. Move it to like 40. That's a nice close, though. On the automatic support, do you watch the volume going through or do you just get out at 5 pips? Yeah, pretty much it would just get out. But you see how I am with it. I don't like, suddenly I'm clicking close. Oh, that's no good. Out. I give it a minute. I see how it is. Yeah. See, now, at this rate, I'll probably move my stop to 40. This way I stay in unless it fails this breakout. That's what I'm going to do right now. So stop loss at 112.40. 27 pips. What are we up now? About 35. Okay. So right there, 112.40 is my stop. It would require a fake failed break to get me out. Otherwise, I stay in, see what it does at that 60 level. And I can do the same thing there. If it breaks 60 and we're looking at 65, 70, I can move my stop up there. So a fake break will get me out. Also considering, of course, how much volume you're seeing, if there's a lot of weakness or there's no weakness. But I mean, at this point, I don't want it to run too much back on me. So loose trail. And they all did it, right? Yeah. It's that weak US dollar. Weak yen. That didn't even have to happen. On the UJ. All right, guys. Done deal. No questions. Jim, very good. Time for breakfast. Same time tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the unemployment U.S. session. Instead of Friday, it's going to be tomorrow, and we'll see what things look like after that. No pressure. Had a nice Tuesday. Had a nice Wednesday. Whatever tomorrow says to do, we'll do. But it could be a little off, heading into the holiday, having that big news. But we'll show up and see what we get. I probably would go smaller risk tomorrow. So I end the week well, no matter what. All right, guys. Very good. See you then.